Hi, everyone. I want to take a few minutes to speak plainly and give you my take on recent events involving lawful orders and about the representation you deserve from your elected officials. On November 18th, a group of 6 Democratic U.S. lawmakers with military and intelligence backgrounds released a video statement reminding service members of their obligation to refuse any illegal orders. That's a foundational truth, and I appreciate the group's noble intent. But here's why I believe there's a problem with their statement. They didn't say what prompted the message. No specific order was named, no incident was cited. And for those of us who've worn the uniform, we know that vague warnings don't help in moments that demand clarity. Also, in recent days, there has been an increasing amount of reporting that on September 2nd, a suspected drug smuggling boat was struck by U.S. forces in the Caribbean. 11 people were killed, 2 survivors remained in the water, and those survivors were reportedly targeted in a second strike. If one is to accept the premise that this was an operation with the objective to neutralize a direct threat to the United States, then one must also accept that the Secretary of Defense provided the strategic guidance regarding the attack, that the Secretary of Defense's guidance was then delegated, not abdicated, to the commander of U.S. Southern Command, then down to Joint Special Operations Command, and finally to the operational units assigned to carry out the mission. In light of all of this, one must consider the significance of the reported pause between the initial strike and the follow-up missile volleys that killed the 2 survivors. One must also consider the significance of the Secretary of Defense's own admission that he had left the room between the volleys. These details suggest, at best, a potential breakdown in military coordination or, at worst, a deliberate effort to deflect responsibility for possible war crimes. So let's be clear. When lawmakers speak in riddles or leaders respond with head-scratching statements about their absence at a critical operational juncture, the American people are left in the dark. And that's not just a failure of communication, it's a failure of leadership. As a veteran, I know what it means to follow orders. As a retired intelligence officer, I know what it means to ask questions when something doesn't sit right. And as someone asking for your trust, I believe you deserve both clarity and accountability. That's why I'm asking you, not just to listen, but to act. Demand specifics from your lawmakers. Demand transparency from your leaders. Demand a government that doesn't just react, but explains, justifies, and takes responsibility. And here's my promise to you. When I have the honor of being sworn in and I take my 3rd oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, you will never have to guess where I stand. I will name the issues, I will ask the hard questions, I will demand answers, and I will never hide behind vague statements or meaningless political churn. Because leadership isn't about noise, it's about truth. It's about accountability. It's about morality. To my fellow veterans, you've already lived the cost of unclear orders. To voters, you deserve leaders who speak plainly and act with integrity. And to donors, your support fuels a campaign that refuses to play politics with principle. Let's raise the standard together. Let's make our country live up to the values it claims to defend. And let's build a future all of us deserve. Thank you.